Hello everyone, welcome to my Patreon or back to my Patreon. This is going to be my first video, mainly because I feel like it's a big foundational part of my practice and I really wanted to share this on my YouTube. However, I don't feel comfortable with putting this information on my YouTube because it's so controversial in the witchcraft community. So today's video, as you can see, is about blood magic. First, there is a disclaimer because I will be mentioning, I will be talking about blood, using blood within your craft. So if you have an issue with blood or self-harming, please do not watch this video. So first, I'm going to chat about how you can safely extract your own blood. Now, the first method that I recommend for everyone is lancing and bloodletting via lancets. This is a lancing kit that I got off Amazon for maybe like 10 bucks. It comes with a lancing device and it comes with 100 lancets. And these are usually used for people with diabetes and stuff like that who have to draw their blood in order to monitor their blood sugar. So it looks like this. It's really small and it comes with needles that are sterile and they're covered. So what you would do is you would take this lid off. I'm sure they all work a little different. Take the lid off, put the lancet inside, push it down. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm not going to use it right now. And then twist that off and put this on top. Make sure that you spray this with like alcohol between uses so that it stays sterile and safe for you to use. When you're doing blood work, you don't need a lot of blood. You can just use a few drops, and this is a safe and not really a painful way at all in order to extract your blood for rituals and other things that I'm going to be mentioning later. Now, I used to do bloodletting through using lancets all the time in the beginning of my practice when I started using blood within my practice. And then I was like, why am I doing that? Because I am a healthy young woman who still has her period. And period blood is extremely powerful. And a lot of people try to discredit using period blood because they feel like that it's not as powerful as regular blood, which in fact it's more powerful than regular blood, you know, because period blood contains blood, but it also contains your uterine lining, which literally has the ability to create life and protect that life within you. And it also contains stem cells, which is good for growth. So your period blood can be used for so many different types of workings in magic. And I think it's just very, very powerful. And us as healthy women that can bleed are very lucky to have a period, and it's better to use it within your workings rather than just flush it down a toilet. Like, that's literal magical gold that is coming out of you once a month, you know? So if you have your period, I advise if you want to use blood in your magic, you can do it that way if you don't want to do lancing. And you can do that via a period cup. I will put one on the screen. I'm not going to show you mine because I've been using mine for a while. They are made out of silicone. They can last up to like 10 years. It's very easy to clean and use once you get the hang of it. So that is how I personally collect my blood, is with period cups. And then what I do is I put it in the fridge for a while if I'm going to be using it right away, which likely I am. I like to do a lot of rituals around the time that my monthly, then I can use the blood fresh. Or I will store it, and I will talk about storing your blood a little later. So the last way to extract your blood, and this is the more rarer way, is through a medical professional. Now, if you have a friend who is a nurse or phlebotomist, or if you have a family member, or if you are one yourself, you can find a way to safely extract a good amount of blood from your veins, directly from your veins, you know? And then just store it safely. And just make sure you're doing it in a safe and sterile environment, however that is for you. And I don't have a person that can do that for me. So that is why my best method of using blood within my practice is through using my period cups and using my period blood. I do not advocate cutting yourself to get blood for your rituals. You do not need to damage your nerve endings and possibly hurt yourself really bad via cutting. You do not need a lot of blood for your workings at all. You just need a drop, maybe 2 drops, depending on what you're trying to do. So I do not recommend that you cut yourself at all with anything. The best way is to lance yourself. Do it safely. Lance more than 1 finger. Lance all over your finger. Just get a little bit of blood because it doesn't go very deep where it can permanently damage you or hurt yourself. You know, there is no need to put yourself through that pain and trauma and hurting yourself trying to do some blood magic. It's not worth it. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about storing your blood. So a very easy way that you can store your blood is to just take some plastic baggies, fill it up with a little bit of blood, as much as you may need, and like a little bit in each baggie, and throw it in your freezer and freeze the blood. It will last for a very long time. That's not the way that I do it, but I'll tell you the way that I do it. You can also store it in the fridge for a while, and this is what I do with my fresh moon blood. Let's call it that, my moon blood. I will pour it into a container, a little glass jar, like a little mason jar, and I'll put the lid on it, and I'll just put it in the fridge behind the condiments so nobody can see it, you know, just so it's not unnerving in case I have a guest come over and they're going into my fridge. You don't want them just staring at a jar of blood. That's a little weird. So I'll store it in my fridge for at least until my next moon cycle. And then what I'll do to further preserve that blood is I will powder my blood. And that's what this is. This is my powdered blood. It's not much. This is only like 3 months or so of collecting. And I have been working on this method for a while. Because the first couple of times I tried it, the blood went bad and it started growing mold on it, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, why isn't this working? So I will be doing a whole nother video explaining exactly how I powder my blood for ritual use and what I use it for. So, oh, and also what I like to do when powdering my blood, because it will smell like blood. It won't be like disgustingly gross or anything, but it'll have a light scent of blood to it. What I like to do is I like to buy dragon's blood resin, and I will grind it up and add it to my container of blood. And that is because dragon's blood resin is very versatile in witchcraft. It is the same color as blood as well, and it smells nice. So it kind of masks the slight hint of blood within the powder. So now I'm going to speak about the uses and examples of using blood within your craft. So the first way that I use blood is you can use it for protection workings, especially if you are using period blood, because as I said, it contains your uterine lining, and when you have a baby, your uterine lining is intact and it protects that baby from any harm from the outside. Within your uterus, your baby stays down in your uterus, and then your uterus expands, and that's when you start seeing it show within your stomach. And I know this because I have a child myself. So I did a lot of research when I was pregnant on just everything to do with pregnancy. So your uterus is very protective. So when you have your moon cycle, your uterine lining is shed along with the blood and stuff. So you can use that in protection workings. You can also use your blood in offerings to your matron and patron deities. And the reason is for that is so that you are offering them a bit of your life force. Your blood is your life force. It contains your life force within it. And it also creates a stronger connection to the god, the deity that you are working with. So that's where my powdered blood comes into play. When I am giving offerings to my deities, to my gods, I will sprinkle a bit of blood onto their candle along that has their sigil and stuff into it. I'll add some herbs, I'll add some oils, and I'll add a bit of my blood for that stronger connection and as an offering to my gods. I used to use fresh blood on my candle offerings, but I would always like end up pouring like a ton of it on the candle, which isn't good. Because you can smother your candle flame that way. So I found the best method for offering blood to my gods via candles is to do a powdered form of it. If you are doing offerings via sigils, then you can simply spread the fresh blood onto the sigil and do it that way. I'll talk about that in a moment. So another way you can use your blood is for ancestor veneration. When you are lighting candles to venerate your ancestors and to set them free of the chains and bonds of your generational curses and stuff like that, I like to add blood to their candles to represent the direct link via my bloodline ancestors that carry the same blood that I do today. Okay, so next way you can use blood is for sigil activation. Now you can do this with sigils that you've created yourself, or you can do it with sigils that represent the gods and deities and entities that you work with. When I do workings for people and they're with my gods, usually what I do is I write a petition and then I will put their sigil on the back of the paper and then I'll activate their sigil with my blood. And this is done for an offering to the god, as well as activating and giving that sigil power and connecting that sigil power, making it stronger for that working. And then when I'm done, I burn the petition, and so that all of that energy and power goes out to the universe or goes to the god that I'm working with for this manifestation. Another way to use blood in your magic is to add it to ink. And I have a quill here so that this is a very powerful way to write very strong petitions. Now, I only use my blood ink when I do it for myself, or it is a way to establish pacts with entities and deities and just beings in general. When you want something specific from them, you write it down in your blood ink, sign your name with it, or you can just sign your name with the blood ink wherever you write it down. And this is signing whatever your pact is in your blood, within your life force. So I add a little bit of blood to my ink for that purpose. And it's rare that I use this, but I do. I'll also use it in creation magic, which I'll talk about in a moment. So yeah, ink, adding blood to ink with your quill. Now you have blood ink. It can be any color. I got black because my local store didn't have any red ink and I needed it right away. It smells really good. It smells like sandalwood oil. I think some sandalwood oil spilled out on my stuff. But so I got black, but you can use red ink to further symbolize that blood, signing something in your blood or writing something in your blood. This is for, you can even use it if you have like a special grimoire that is for the gods or something, and you want to write and ritual that you created in your own blood ink. That's really powerful. That's super cool. So yeah, ink is a great way to use blood within your magic. You can also use your blood to bond with the elements, and making a relationship and bonding spiritually through your life force with the elements is very powerful. It will make you a very powerful witch, as well as using your blood with your gods and your deities and entities of sort. So a couple of ways you can do that is you can like dig a small hole into the earth and pour your blood into it, or your powder. When I do that, I like to use fresh blood. What I'll do is I'll put a little bit of blood into a mason jar, and then I'll fill the mason jar up with water because blood is very concentrate. And blood is actually very, very great for the earth and the plants because it contains so many nutrients. And so especially if you're using your moon blood. So usually, okay, so my process is that I will store my blood, and then towards the end of the month, I will powder my blood, and any blood that is left within that container, I don't just pour it down the sink and rinse out the container or whatever. I pour water into the container, shake it up, get all the blood off of everything. I go outside to my huge wisteria tree and I dig a hole at the base of her roots. I say something over my blood, say that this is an offering for your protection and love and guidance. And so then I pour it right beneath her right into her roots, into the hole, and then I cover it with dirt so that my dog doesn't get to it, you know, or any other animal. Be like, oh, blood, let me lick at it, you know, or whatever. So that is one way that you can bond with the earth. I love doing that with my trees outside. Occasionally, I'll also feed my herb garden with my blood as well. And so my herbs love that, especially my rose bush. Yeah. But I try not to do that often because I don't want my neighbors just watching me pour really red water into my plants. And they might be like, oh my God, is she sacrificing something over there? Crazy bitch. So that is one way you can bond with the element earth. You can also give some blood to the sea. If you live near the water and water is your element that you prefer to work with, give it to the ocean or to a lake. Say something over it first and then just give it over to it. You can also powder your blood like so, which I'll do a video on how to powder your blood. I'll do it next month when my moon comes around. Then I'll have a lot to show you. The step-by-step process that I do. And you can use your powder and simply release some to the wind. Always speak your intention over it and tell the element, the earth, or whatever you're using your blood for exactly what you're using it for. Always speak your intention. Release the powder into the wind, bond with the wind that way. Or you can simply burn some. I prefer probably like after it's already powdered because burning fresh blood does not smell nice. It smells horrible. Do it outside in the elements after everybody in the neighborhood sleep. Burn a little bit in a fire and connect with the fire that way as well. So those are my magical ways that you can use blood within your practice. Now, a couple of other ways are creation magic, using your blood in order to create a servitor, thought form, a familiar. I will be doing a video about that here on my Patreon as well. I will also be doing a video on how to create a servitor on my YouTube channel, but that'll be the simple method, and then I'll do the more advanced method using your blood and life force in order to create a spirit, essentially, over here on this channel. You can also use it for glamour magic. You can use your blood for a face mask. And that is because your blood contains, your moon blood contains stem cells, which help your skin grow newer skin faster so it can reduce wrinkles and make you glow from the inside out. So you can use it as a face mask. You can use it in sex magic. And that is when you are on your moon, have sex with your partner raw, preferably, so that there's nothing in between you two. And that is a great way to get someone to stay with you. That's a great binding magic via sex magic. State your intention to yourself or with your partner if you want them to know about it too. If not, just state it within your mind while you are engaging in sexual activity with your partner. And then you can also use it for attraction magic. And the way you can do that, a simple way you can do that, is add a couple of drops to your nail polish. You can add it to any color you want. Do red if you're feeling that, you know, because red is the color of blood. And add a little bit of your stuff into your nail polish for attraction. Touch somebody with it, you know. And that is it. I do not suggest feeding anybody your blood to make them fall in love with you. If anything, just do the intercourse method. You know, that will make them fall in love with you for sure. If you're doing sex magic and you're having intercourse while on your moon cycle, hell yeah, that man will never stray. But do not feed it to anybody. That's messed up. If you are interested in ingesting blood and doing magic that way, I'm not even going to speak on that, but it is possible and it's very powerful, and maybe I'll make a whole nother video on ingesting blood for magical purposes and stuff like that. But so this is a long ass video. I hope you enjoyed. I was so excited to speak about blood magic and how I use blood within my practice. Please let me know how you use blood within your practice. As I said before in my introduction video, I'm a primal witch, and blood is very primal practice of magic. You know, it's something that you always have on you. It's something that is very accessible to literally every creature ever on this planet contains blood. So I also do not recommend sacrificing animals or anything to obtain their blood. If you're going to use blood in magic, use your own. It will make you a more powerful witch. Share your thoughts, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, y'all. I'm out of here. I've been talking too much.